Hello, sir. Hello, sir. My name is Lisha Prakash from Chemical Department, second year, and the topic that you have given me is chemical analysis, introduction to which is introduction to qualitative and quantitative methods. So, which is a major chunk of analytical chemistry, and I will be explaining about it. Coming to the first slide, it is about the analytical chemistry overview. That is how and why. In an analytical chemical engineering, it is very important to know why are we doing. So, quantitative analysis and qualitative analysis play a very important role, which will be explained further. And analytical chemistry is the science of obtaining, processing, communication, information, and about composition, introduction matter. It is based on wet chemistry, and the objectives are like chemical components, determinant functioning groups, and check purity of raw materials. First process, that is qualitative analysis. It is used for identification of different kinds of substances present in a sample. Okay, so say for example, we things that we see through our eyes, or which is an immediate transition based on the color, gas formation, precipitation, or anything that etc. are a part of qualitative analysis, which we visualize. So the tests can be of various types, and I have took two examples, that is the chemical test and flame test. So when we look into the chemical test, one example that I have presented is iodine test. So in an iodine test, if we take a potato and cut it and put starch to check the presence of starch, we use a solution of potassium iodine, which is used. And once it is put, if there is the presence of starch, the sample turns into blue black, and hence we can prove that there is starch in potato, and so hence iodine test is proved, and this is one of the examples of qualitative analysis. One more example that I have took is flame test, and in flame test, when we take a salt, uh, uh, which we have to test or find out which salt is it, we use a glass rod and take it near a burner. It changes its colors as I have shown it in the images. When the glass rod is introduced to the glass flames, it is turned into such colors. For example, boron is turned into green, sodium is turned into orange, and lithium gives us a crimson red, and potassium slightly blue in color. And these are the examples of flame test which can be visualized. And these two tests are the examples that I have given for qualitative analysis. And next, coming to the quantitative analysis, it is used for the determination of different kinds of substances present in a sample. Qualitative analysis was for identification of substances, and quantitative analysis is for determination of substances. Oh, if we take an example, gravimetric analysis is one of the examples. So determination by mass, it is a technique where amount of analysis is determined to the measurement of mass. Process involves precipitation, filtration, washing, drying, and weighing. So quantitative analysis is one of the analysis that is known by the quantity, like mass, volume, and etc. So gravimetric analysis is one of the example by mass. So while coming to the next analysis, that is titrometric analysis, titration principles play an important role. Like when we do titration, we get to know the volumetric unknown solution volumetry and everything. So volumetric analysis play an important role in the quantitative analysis. So as known, we use a standard solution, a reagent exactly known for concentration, a burette, indicators. So once there is a change, as we use the indicator, once there is titration happening, and when there is a change in the color, and we know the exact volume present in the present. So this is one of the example for quantitative analysis, which is through volume. So next, coming equivalence and versus endpoint. It is one of the differences that I have put here to know the difference. So when it comes to an equivalence point, the theoretical point where the amount added titrate is chemically equivalent to the amount of annulate in a sample. Endpoint is that there is a sudden change in the chemical, and you get to know that what is the at what amount does our physical we get to know the volume present. Titration error, if there is a slight differentiation, because as we know in our titration, when there is a it should only be light pink present. So if there is a dark pink, of course it is an titration error, we have exceeded it. So this is one of the differences that I have put. When we talk about the differences about qualitative and quantitative analysis, so one is the goal is to identify what is present in qualitative, and in quantitative it is to determine how much is present. So this is a major difference present. And data type is that, um, in qualitative we recognize it through smell, color and state, gaseous state, liquid state and solid state, and the color present. But when it comes to quantitative analysis, it is always through numericals, that is like mass, volume and concentration. Common methods are, in qualitative analysis is a flame test, precipitation test. But when it comes to quantitative analysis, it is titration and granulometer. There are more examples to be presented, but I have chosen the best, that is flame test, precipitation from qualitative analysis, and quantitative analysis I have chosen gravimetry and titration. Complexity. It is often faster in qualitative analysis, and it is preliminary. We get results instantly. So qualitative analysis has not so much complexity, and even in quantitative analysis, it is not that much complex, but it requires calculations, and it gives more precise calculations. So quantitative analysis is also the best way, and quantitative analysis is also the best way to analyze things. And this is it plays a very important role in, which is very important in chemical engineers life. So according to chemical engineering, it is like quick identification, simple procedures, low of cost, and it does not require much time. And it is very important for us to know equal importance for qualitative and quantitative analysis, because it helps us in all the ways. Thank you, sir.